What's up, players? Welcome to episode 95 of Ready Press Play, your weekly source for everything that's new and exciting in the world of video games. Every Friday at 6 a.m. Pacific or 9 a.m. Eastern Time, we discuss the top news of the week, notable releases on all platforms while we're playing, big topics of the industry, and the games we love. If you want to write anything to Barrett in the show, go to ReadyPlayNetwork.com or hit us up at Ready Press Play on Twitter and TikTok. No matter where you found us, please subscribe to the feed so you can get every new show directly to your device as soon as it posts. And if you like it, please leave us a nice review. This is November 5th, 2021. I'm your host, Dan Lima. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Mr. Louis Menchaca.
You know, Dan, I discovered a perfect way to end a podcast.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
And,
I just,
and what is it? Tell me all about it.
oh yeah, I did the swan song for Ready Play Movies, and I basically hit all like the highlights. I was basically doing this thing where it's like, you know how like sitcoms do like a, what do you call it, a variety show where like they do a clip show where like they show like funny moments of the
Mm-hmm.
past. I feel like I basically sort of tapped into that kind of like wave pattern there. And yeah, we did the damn thing. We ended the podcast like on a high note. I think it was a banger. It's a good episode. So it's out on all audio platforms for iTunes, Spotify, etc., etc. For you guys to listen to, and it'll debut this coming Tuesday on this YouTube channel for all you watchers out there.
Awesome. So,
Yeah.
yeah, if you're watching this on the Level 1 Gaming channel, then you can just stay right here and check out Louis on Ready Play Movies later next week. And then after that, Ready Play Movies is done. He's not going to be doing that podcast anymore, but maybe we'll see him pop up in some new things. We'll see.
Yeah.
Only time will tell, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I did listen to the episode. I felt like it was pretty good. It was a nice end to it all. I had skipped some of the recent ones just because I was out of time, and I literally have like 50 plus podcasts downloaded on my phone right now that I got to catch up on at some point.
Now it's one less
Um,
thing for you to listen to.
yeah, exactly. um, you almost make it sound like it's some like a terrible like
Sure.
chore or something. But you know what? Like there is a point to that, which is when you there's so much content out there that it's hard to keep yourself from turning the things you enjoy into chores. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Just because there's so much of it, and I get in my head sometimes like, oh, I gotta catch up. Like, um, every once in a while I do this thing where I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna forget the last 10 episodes that I missed of this, and I'm just gonna listen to the latest one, and I'm gonna go from there. But it's hard. It hurts my heart a little bit. I feel like I need to, complete the sequence. But then when you're listening to like a 5 week old news podcast, it feels like so much of the content just feels like a waste anyway.
Yeah.
um
So
who
yeah,
knows, maybe some.
that
Go
was one
ahead.
of the things that I didn't do in the last episode is I just ditched the news and basically did like
Yeah,
topics of the show, and it was like very I think it was very engaging and I really enjoyed the time recording it and reliving it when watching and listening to the playback. So I think it's one of those kind of like timeless capsule episodes that just sort of like will be evergreen. So I'm glad that that's how I sort of like discovered the formula on how to end a show. So
there was one thing that I took issue with in that episode, and I already messaged Lewis about this, and I'm taking issue with an opinion from Troy, which is that Troy talks about, or you guys are talking about Fast and Furious and comparing it to the newest James Bond flick or something. And he makes it seem like James Bond is in another level when compared to the Fast and Furious when it comes to, action movies. And I completely disagree with that. And the reason I gave Lewis kind of my exaggerated, like,
it's all about family.
comment, just kind of, yeah, no, just kind of fucking around and saying like, the worst Fast and Furious movie is better than the best James Bond movie. And that's not what I meant, really. That was more me joking around. But I don't think I haven't watched every single one of them, but I watched quite a few of the latest Bond films, and I don't think they're that great, honestly. I really don't. I feel like Skyfall was pretty good. um but then the one after that, I think, was Spectre.
Yeah.
I thought that was like just kind of not great, like not really that great at all. And I would put a lot of my point is, like, I think a lot of the Fast movies rank above the latest Bond flicks in my rankings, my internal
I
rankings.
think I'm gonna watch that tomorrow, so
Hmm.
I'll have watched both movies. But yeah, I'm gonna catch up on my movie watching since kind of I'm gonna have time to myself
Yeah,
for my vacation. So yeah, and I'm
yeah,
not
that makes
going
sense.
anywhere. So finally, I get to vacation and staycation. So
You should watch all of the Daniel Craig Bond movies leading up to to this new one and then see them all and tell me what you think, how they compare to the Fast Saga. Because well, we'll see. You know, I got my hot takes, but and Troy got his. But you can go and listen to RPM, to the RPM finale, to see more about that. Lewis, I'm just gonna give it to you. I think you have some other housekeeping things that you want to hit on here before we move
Yeah,
on with the show.
yeah. So this is like completely short notice, and I didn't even think about this. Like it should have been like said on last week's show, so that way you guys can like you video watchers can
Prepare
be
for it.
prepare for it because like I'm probably gonna say this right now. We're probably not even gonna get any views this Saturday for when we debut because I'm gonna have to put this video up on 8 a.m. on Saturday instead of 5 p.m. like I normally do. That's
Okay.
Central Time. 8 a.m. because Level One Gaming is doing a 24-hour stream starting at 10 a.m. So we have
Mm,
to get out of their way and not mess with their stuff going on. So it's I'm gonna be part of the 24-hour stream. I have a 3-hour block assigned to me. So at Saturday at 6 p.m., which is like an hour after we normally would premiere, it'll be my block for 3 hours from 6 to 9. So hey, 6 9.
okay. If you'd asked me about this, I would give some alternative suggestions. Like I wonder if we could dropped in a different day of the week, maybe even on a Sunday or something. I don't know.
There's a Sunday
Uh,
podcast. There's every
oh,
day has a
okay, okay.
podcast. The
All
only
right.
the
Well,
only other thing would have been Tuesday because Tuesday just got freed up. Actually, no, it didn't. Not this Tuesday.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
because you're late with that one. Because
yeah,
otherwise we could have. Yeah. Well, whatever. You know, we'll see how that goes. All right, and then you also Lewis is also teasing that he's reviewing a game right now and that he's going to be talking about it next week.
yes. So you know how it comes to me in impressions. I almost never come to the table with impressions. So I'm
Hmm.
actually going to have a full review to talk about. So by the time we record next week's podcast, the embargo would be lifted, and you guys would see on the Level One Gaming YouTube channel and on the Level One Gaming website, my written and video reviews will be out and be public, and I'll be able to give you guys like my post mortem breakdown on the game that's coming out. So uh, we'll cover it in new releases, but I'm not going to reveal which game it's going to be because I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. These things they suck. Okay, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that I'm playing a game. You know what I mean? So it's just I just want to err on the side of caution and just respect the embargo. So
All
yeah.
right. So, you know, over between now and next week, Lewis is responding to Call of Duty from Level One Gaming to review a new upcoming game, and then we're only gonna find out next week what that game actually is.
That was actually
Um,
pretty good. I like that one. That was actually dope.
all right, Lewis. Let's move on and hit up our first segment of the day here, which we do once a month, always in the first week of the month. That is the Temple of Time. Lewis, I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like a lazy host today,
Oh yeah.
and because you've handled like this whole like first half of the doc, I am inclined to just kind of let you do the talking. Are you down to do that, or am I
Sure.
putting you too much on the spot?
Sure, I can do it. I'm not like Troy.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that Lewis is the kind of co-host that steps up to the plate here. But yeah, I don't even know what these games are. You put this together. Go ahead and tell us what are the anniversaries that we're celebrating in the month of November.
All right. So, for 5 years ago, November 2016, we started off with the launch of the PS4 Pro, and it came out a
Dang.
month after the PSVR, and it came out on November 10th, which
Five
is
years later, how do you evaluate like the perform like I guess maybe performance is not the right word. Like there were a lot of thoughts when the PS4 Pro got released. I remember a lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people liked it, and there was the split in the PlayStation community. 5 years removed from it, when you look back to it, what do you think about the PS4 Pro?
I think the PS4 Pro didn't really move the needle at all, in my opinion. I think
Right.
the One X did a better job of like hyping people up for Xbox's brand than the PS4 Pro did. I think the PS4 Pro is a bit of an also ran kind of thing. That's how I sort of see it. I've only seen like one PS4 Pro out in the wild, like as far as like I don't know. I don't think it had penetration. I don't know if it did. I mean, like people weren't really 4K ready. Only like certain
Right.
level of people were, and I only got 4K ready when it came into because the PS5 and the Series X launched. So
You know, I got a PS4 Pro. I've mentioned it in the podcast a few times before, and I got the OG PS4 as well. And right now in my setup, I got my PS4 Pro downstairs in the living room with a big ass TV, my biggest TV, 4K TV, and I have the regular OG PS4 in my bedroom, and that's what I used to watch Netflix or whatever in the bedroom, right? And I have to say that if only for the slightly better performing hardware that allows you to use the console just in a slightly quicker, snappier way, I already feel like the purchase was worth it to me
Mm.
because downstairs, whenever I'm using it, I feel like it's like pretty efficient. Like I go through things relatively quickly. It feels like I'm using I know it's not probably as fast and as efficient as the PS5, obviously, but it feels like closer to that. Versus when I come down or when I come up and I'm laying in bed at night and I'm turning something on the PS4,
Hmm.
just like the experience of literally going and navigating through Netflix, it's slow. Like
Yes.
it like takes a while to load, and it's just like you
Yes.
press the button and then it doesn't respond immediately, and it's
Yes. I
uh,
hate that.
so I feel like the OG PS4 didn't age very well, while the PS4 Pro is still very usable nowadays.
You know what's kind of funny is like I actually had when the PS4 came out, the original OG PS4 came out. I actually used the PS3 as a bit of a streaming box where I had it in a different bedroom,
Right.
and like I was noticing that the PS3 would like I would like just going to the dashboard, just scrolling up on a tile would like be like I would press up on the D-pad and then it would take a second and then it'll go up. And
Right.
now the PS4, that thing that I was like, oh my god, this PS4 is so much faster than the PS3, is now doing the exact same thing that the
I
PS3
know.
did.
I know. I totally empathize with that. But
But yeah, no, I try
anyway,
to stream stuff, and it's a pain in the ass too. I still use it for streaming.
I,
Um,
I agree that I don't think the PS4 Pro moved the needle, by the way. I have a feeling that almost nobody got it. I would love to know what percentage of the PS4 user base uses a PS4 Pro. But anyway, let's
Fair
keep going.
enough. Fair enough. All right. So as far as the actual games that came out, and by the way, this might be the best games lineup for all of Temple of Time, bar none, because it's
Dang.
November. It's holiday pushing time. You know, we got Call of Duties and all these AAA games coming out. So basically, I think just every time you're going to see a new set of games, banger after banger after banger is how I see it. So we start things off with the original release of Owlboy. It came out on the PC before like coming out to consoles and stuff later on that next year. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare came out for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. It also had the little mini controversy of being bundled with Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Didn't realize it's been 5 years, and also I don't know. It just kind of feels like it's still recent. It still has that sting. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's usually what the 5 years feels like to me. It's like these last 5 years just kind of flew by for me. I don't know for you, dude. So
Yeah,
yeah,
same.
I get it.
Then we got Mario Party Star Rush for the 3DS, and then Eagle Flight came out for the PSVR as well as Robinson the Journey. I guess it was been a month after PSVR, and it still got that hype train, a little bit of a push going on. Then we got Dishonored 2 for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Watch Dogs 2 for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. I believe that flopped, but it reviewed really well. And then we got Pokemon Sun and Moon for the 3DS, and finally Final Fantasy 15 for the PS4 and Xbox One.
The interesting thing about Watch Dogs, I feel like it's one of those franchises where Ubisoft is always telling themselves like, "Oh, this is the one. This is going to be the hit," and then it just doesn't.
Quit trying to make fetch a
Despite the
thing.
Yeah, despite the fact that the games are not bad, like even the first Watch Dogs, there was a lot of negative response because of how it compared to the original trailers, but it was
Yes.
still a good game. It's still like I still think it got mostly like sevens across the board, and then Watch Dogs 2 did even better, like reviewed even better, and it's generally considered to be a great game, but it also didn't seem to sell very well. And then I think Watch Dogs Legion were on the same boat once again, like good to great, decent game that came out at a busy time. The competition was just stronger, and people did not gravitate that strongly to it. So,
I think this
yeah,
also was the situation because I think Watch Dogs 2 got sort of flooded by the competition. Like it got drowned out.
yeah, yeah, true.
But yeah, I think it's kind of funny because like Final Fantasy 15 was supposed to come out in September, and it was like this big kind of funny like press
Oh
conference where
yeah,
they pressed like this button and revealed the release date, and yeah,
and then it got delayed.
and then it got delayed.
Yep,
But yeah,
remember that.
um, I still want to beat Owlboy. Owlboy's still on my bucket list of games to beat. I played like the beginning of it. It's dope.
Hmm.
All right. We'll go ahead and move on to the next bit here. 10 years ago brings us to November of 2011.
That is a stacked ass month. Let's look at it.
All right. So let's see here. And honestly, you know what? I cannot, I'm just going to have to do this way because I suck ass. Thank you. All right. For some
You
reason,
realize there's just, the little A button and then you press on it and then you're able to.
no,
For
it's
for those
because,
listening at home,
I was going to say, I was okay. So I am zoomed in, and when I'm zoomed in, the A button disappears. So,
oh, okay.
yeah.
For those listening at home, Lewis just took a good 30 seconds to figure out how to change text from white to black in a Google Doc. But
All right, so I'm gonna have you do it for me because I can't. I have to zoom out in order to have the A button appear for me. Uh,
okay, sounds good.
all right, so November 2011, we have Minecon happened, which I didn't even know that was a thing. It was held in Las Vegas, and they announced that the release date for Minecraft would be on the 18th. So there you go, Minecraft 10 years old. Well, officially, as far as 1.0 is
Right.
concerned.
Yeah, because Minecraft actually came out like 2 years before that, but it was in like this weird beta format, and then I guess in around this time, November 2011, that's when it fully came out. But it's whenever I look up Minecraft, it's interesting because Minecraft is always thought of when you think of the best games of a certain decade
Hmm.
discussion. But some people think of it as a 2000s game versus other people think of it as a 2010s game. But
Yeah, I think officially it has to go down as a 2010s game. Didn't we put Minecraft in our 2010 game on our
we
lists?
put it in one of the lists, but I actually don't remember which one. I think it was the tens. I think we put it in the tens. Yeah.
All right. Now we got Sonic Generations for the PS3, Xbox 360, PC, and 3DS. Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception, PS3, banger right there. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, PC, PS3, Xbox 360, and Wii. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Defiance on the DS. At least they gave it a different name so it's not the same thing. And I didn't realize this, but this might be the first Call of Duty with two colons in the title
Oh
because
yeah, which is a common thing
Black
now.
Ops, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, you know what I mean? Like I thought
Right,
that
right,
was the
right.
first one that did it, but no. This beat it to the punch by 10 years.
Yikes.
Then we got the Black Eyed Peas experience for the Xbox 360 and Wii. I only put this on this list because my niece and nephew got this game
I
on the
feel
Wii.
like we own this too, actually, because we um so my sister bought an Xbox 360 at some point just because of Kinect, because she thought Kinect just seemed like this cool, fun thing. And so she bought it just because of that. And then she would go to stores and buy nothing but Kinect games. And I don't think this is the game, but there was a Black Eyed Peas. There was a Black Eyed Peas Dance Connect game that I'm thinking
This
of.
is it.
Is this it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I wasn't sure.
It was a dance
Yeah.
game for the 360 and the Wii, and my niece and nephew owned the Wii version of this game, and I seen it like on stores, like when I'm at thrift stores and stuff, and I can see it like on the shelves and stuff. So yeah,
Whatever happened to the Black Eyed Peas, man? I wonder.
I think there's still a thing, but it's just Fergie left. So yeah.
Mm.
Then we got the Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim, 11 11 11. It's the big, I would say. What's kind of really interesting is like, so I'm just going to skip to the next one. Super Mario 3D Land came out on the 3DS. And at that time, I remember buying that game for the 3DS because that was part of its push to make the 3DS a thing because the 3DS was kind of like had a
Mm.
very bad launch. And then this
Yeah.
compared with Mario Kart 7 in December, it sort of put that 3DS in that upper stratosphere with that price drop. All those things kind of sort of like were like blending together to make Nintendo 3DS a thing. And then what's kind of funny is like that was all I was concerned about. I didn't even know Skyrim came out at that time. I had no, I for me in my head, Skyrim was a game that was always in existence. Is how I sort of remember it. It's like it's always been a thing. It's always been out. Is
No,
how
I remember the time leading up to Skyrim because this was when I was going to college for game development, and I actually at this point knew very little about games, and I'm not even talking from a development perspective. I mean, in general, like I was an outsider to a lot of these things. I was still fairly young, and I was just kind of. I only had a few years of experience really learning about the companies and the different franchises and stuff, and there was so much that I had just missed. But I remember that I learned so much in this year of 2011 because of the friends that I was making in game development school who were big fanatics, people that were older than me and stuff that were looking forward to all these different games. And I remember Skyrim was a game that I heard people talk about that entire year. They were all like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be awesome." And at this point, I had never played an Elder Scrolls game. I didn't even know what they were really. So I did not have any kind of expectation for it. But I know that everybody around me was super hyped for this game.
You know what's kind of funny is like Skyrim is going to be on new releases this week.
Oh yeah, because it's
The
like it's the
PS5,
special edition or
yeah,
whatever.
the
Yeah.
PS5 version and the Xbox Series X version. So it's kind of hilarious that even like 10 years now, it's still getting re-released and more sales,
Yeah.
and it's still being streamed. Like I know Leah streamed a lot. So
Yeah, for sure. It's a game that's still getting played to this day. It's one of those games like GTA 5 and Minecraft that just, you know, were not conceived necessarily as a games as a service game, but still ended up becoming one just in the sense that they've had this this life after their release.
you know what's kind of messed up is like there was an interview that somebody gave at IGN and talked about how they don't like that Skyrim is a game that you can only buy once and you can't like monetize after or something like that. I remember feeling very grimy hearing that. So
Mm.
yeah. Anyways, moving on. Ezio got another game in his series called Assassin's Creed Revelations. I don't know if it was the second one or the third one, but it is what it is. Came out on the PS3 and the Xbox 360. Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary came out on Xbox 360. It was the 10-year anniversary of Halo. Now it's the 20-year anniversary of Halo. That's spoilers for later on. And yeah, it was the HD texture pack basically. We have Mario and Sonic at the London 2012 Olympics for the Olympic Games for the Wii. Rayman Origins came out on the PS3, 360, and Wii. Saints Row the Third, PC, Xbox 360, and PS3. The amazing game that is Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, PS3 and 360. It was literally a re-release of a game that came out earlier that spring, and then that's the version that everyone cares about. And then we got Minecraft. It came out on iOS, PC, Mac, and Linux. I think it's really interesting that it came out on iOS as its first release. And then we have The Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword for the Wii, which was like the big swan song for the Wii, if I'm not mistaken. And then finally, as we're going to see a pattern of these things, WWE 12 came out on the PS3, Wii, and 360.
Yeah. So this is a very interesting month for me to look at because, like I said, this was my first year in game development college, and I said what I everything I just said. But then also, this was probably the time frame where I played the most games in my life, or the most console games at least. So I look at this list, like the previous list. Actually, I didn't play. I don't think anything from that list, but from this one, I played Uncharted 3 around the time it came out. I played Skyrim shortly after it came out. I got Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS, and I played the shit out of that. I actually played Assassin's Creed Revelations. That was the first Assassin's Creed game that I played, and
Hmm.
that game came with Assassin's Creed One included in the disc. So I actually also played Assassin's Creed One for the first time,
Damn.
first and only time. I didn't beat it actually. I didn't beat a lot of those, but I was kind of like it was a year where a lot of the new stuff that was coming out, I was like, oh yeah, let me check that out. I was playing Minecraft this year as well, and I played Skyward Sword when it came out. So there's like 6 games here that I have some level of experience playing, and half of which I think I beat. Well, I beat Super Mario, I beat Uncharted, I beat Zelda.
I
Um,
regret I regret buying Sonic Generations for the 3DS. It's like it's not even like a situation
that's
where
the
it's
worst
like
version,
it's the
right?
worst version.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even like everyone gave all the reviews and the excitement to the console version, and I thought I
Mm.
can get a piece of that, but I got it on the 3DS, so I got fucked up. Yeah.
So this is just an interesting situation where if I compare that to a month now, like there's never a situation where I play more than at most one game that came out that month, and even that is not that common.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I would say yeah, like it's really interesting. Like these are it's like game of the year contenders. I think we got like Uncharted 3, Skyrim.
Yeah,
Technically Skyward Sword got a 10 at the time, so you know what I mean? Like it's
yeah.
really interesting that these are like the big pushing like, month time right here. So it's going to be beneficial for us. Now, Dan, I figured out how to do the text myself here by the way, so I'm good.
Good
All right.
job.
All right. So we have for 15 years ago, November 2006, On November 17th, the PS3 launches, and on November 19th, the Wii launches. So, dope. Uh, so, funny enough, they stopped doing numbers. Call of Duty 3 came out on the PS2, Xbox, Xbox 360, PS3, and Wii. Now, those other platforms like the PS3 and the Wii, they came out later in the month in November. They think they only launched on the other aforementioned consoles. Guitar Hero 2 came out on the PS2. Never came out on the PS3. I looked it up, and it only came out on like the 360. So I thought that was really
I
weird.
think Guitar Hero 2 was also available on arcades, if I'm
Mm.
not mistaken. Oh, but I'm not sure.
Marcus Phoenix is 15 years old. Gears of War came out on the 360. That iconic trailer with that song. Yeah, and then a franchise that PlayStation really doesn't do a good job of caring about. SOCOM, U.S. Navy SEALs Combined Assault came out on the PS2. I remember when SOCOM was a thing. Yoshi's Island DS came out on the DS. Sonic the Hedgehog, aka Sonic '06, came out on the 360. That garbage fire that is Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic '06 has been like I've seen many YouTube videos like lambasting that game. WWE SmackDown versus Raw 2007 because putting years on titles makes it age very well. Came out on the PS2 and the 360. Resistance Fall of Man came out on the PS3. That was the big trailer, the big launch title for the PS3, and the big trailer that lied to everyone with its cinematics made to look like gameplay. Red Steel came out on the Wii. These are the Wii launch titles. Red Steel, and then Wii Sports for the Wii, and the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess came out on the Wii, which was also like I want to say those bastards because they did not dual release for the GameCube, and they made the GameCube version came out a month later in December for the true purists, but whatever. And then finally, just because I just put this in there for the lulz, Superman Returns is a video game based on the movie, but the movie came out in June of that year, and so it's a huge delay between the game coming out and then the movie coming out and the game coming out. And it's kind of hilarious is that the movie sort of flopped at the box office, so it didn't really bode well for the game sales. But Superman Returns came out on the PS2, Xbox, and the 360 and the DS of all things. So yeah.
So at this time frame, I was 12, and I went to a friend's house. I don't know if it was exactly here, if it was like a month later or something, but I think it was around this time frame. I went to a friend's house, and he had a Wii, and he had me play Wii Sports and Twilight Princess a little bit with him to kind of showcase it, and I was blown away. I was like, "Oh my god, I need this thing!" And it was what started me asking my parents for a Wii. I got it on my birthday the next year, so in May of the next year. So I wouldn't really get to play those games myself until a little bit after that. But the Wii was a phenomenon. Now, the game that I was playing at this time frame that is in this list is on my PS2. I was actually playing SmackDown versus Raw, and that game was fun. I had a good time with that, even though I did not really have any connection with WWE or wrestling. I was not watching that. It was just one of those games that I just bought for my PS2. Probably a pirated version of that too.
I thought you were gonna say
And I,
like Guitar Hero, and I'm like, wow, that would took a left turn. Yeah.
no, actually, because I didn't get into Guitar Hero really until Guitar Hero 3 later on. But
Mm.
yeah, so I was playing that SmackDown game, and it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, I got to experience the Twilight Princess as HD on the Wii U. So it was my first time I played it.
Mm.
Wii Sports is a banger, and it's a very great like real UN kind of tech demo.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
I have only played like the first like 2 hours of Gears of War One when I played it on the Series X as like part of like the HD remake on Game Pass. So controls are a little tanky. I'm not gonna. I'm actually surprised by how modern it looks, but how old it controls. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
yeah, just thought that was really interesting. But yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, like I just want to say it real quick. This is the last time. I think this is the last time Call of Duty shows up. So, which makes sense because it's Call of Duty 3, and 5 years prior is not gonna. Call of Duty doesn't exist, but it's really kind of interesting in the sense that like in my head, I feel like Call of Duty's been a thing longer than 18 years, and
No,
like it just
no,
feels like it's always been, and now it's just like, yeah,
yeah. The franchise that is older than Call of Duty that actually kind of in a way spawned the beginning of Call of Duty is Medal of Honor. So that's
yeah,
the one where you can go further back, and it would keep showing up. And then some folks that left the studio to create their own thing, and that's where Call of Duty came from. But yeah, let's keep going here. We're already at 30 minutes in the in the show.
All right, November 2001, 20 years ago. On November 15th, the Xbox launches. On November 18th, the GameCube launches. All right, so we have Ace Combat 4 Shattered Skies for the PS2, Burnout for the PS2, probably the very first in the franchise, FIFA Football 2002, PS1 and PS2, SSX Tricky, which I believe was the second game in the franchise, came out on the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox. Project Gotham Racing came out on the Xbox, which, if I'm not mistaken, maybe backwards compatible to this day on the Series X. Not, don't take my word for it, but sounds like it might be. It's published by Microsoft. Golden Sun came out on the Game Boy Advance, and that was the big game that everyone knows Isaac, and he's an assist trophy in Smash Ultimate. I believe is also an assist trophy in Brawl as well. So your favorite Smash game. Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty. I played that game when it came out on the PS2, so I played it at the time.
Nice.
It was groundbreaking and amazing, and like just lived up to the hype. I don't know why people were giving a hubbub about Raiden. He was a okay character in my book. Shrek came out on the Xbox. Oh yeah, these are the Xbox launch titles, by the way. So Project Gotham Racing, Shrek, Dead or Alive 3, Halo Combat Evolved. There you go. That's all you need.
Not bad, not
Not bad,
bad.
not bad.
Yeah.
And then here's the game.
Um,
These are the GameCube launch titles. We got Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2, Rogue Leader, Super Monkey Ball, Luigi's Mansion, and that's it. Yeah, it's like, eh,
all right.
it's actually pretty good. A two out of three ain't bad. I actually like 3 out of 3 because I actually have Super Monkey Ball. So then we have Wario Land 4 for Game Boy Advance, WWF SmackDown Just Bring It for the PS2, and Star Wars Starfighter for the Xbox. So
Yeah.
what do you think?
This would be a little 7-year-old Dan here, and let's see, didn't have an Xbox, didn't have a GameCube, had a PS1, had a PS2. Or actually, at this point, I don't think I had a PS2 yet, but I had a PS1, and the only game here that I might have been playing at that point would be FIFA, and I'll probably be playing the PS1 version and not the PS2 version yet.
You know what's kind of funny
Um,
is like I own a lot of these games, but I haven't played any of them.
right,
Uh,
right, which is true for me in some of these other months as well.
yeah. So yeah, but I've only played Metal Gear Solid 2 as far as actually played. But I own Star Wars Rogue Leader, Rogue Squadron. I own Luigi's Mansion. I own Super Monkey Ball. So yeah, I just think that's really funny. But
Shout out to Luigi's Mansion because, like, when you think about it, that was such a risk for them at the time. I think I've heard about how a lot of people looked down on that game when it first came out. Like,
yep,
what the hell? We want Mario. Wait, who would want a Luigi Haunted Mansion Ghostbusters type game and for the release of the new Nintendo console? But the game kind of became a little bit of a cult hit and spawned a franchise that now with Luigi's Mansion 3 is I'd say I'll call it a successful Nintendo
and it
franchise.
introduced the world to Professor Egad, who's a
Yes.
very beloved character. All right. 25 years ago brings us to November of 1996. So on the November 23rd, Bandai released Tamagotchi pet handhelds. They
Oh,
were
I
a
remember that.
big thing back in the 90s, and even in my elementary school
Yeah.
it was a huge thing. And like I remember like a situation where like some schools had to ban it because there were so much distractions and stuff like that. And
That
yeah,
made it to me as well. Me in one school a few years after this. I remember that. I remember that too.
you know what's kind of fucked up is like I feel like I don't know if this was done a thing before, but I feel like it should be an app. There should be a Tamagotchi app. And,
It probably already.
it
You know
probably
what,
already.
Lewis? Things like that probably already exist, and they just don't hit anymore. There's. I mean it. Like it's just there's things that we are nostalgic for, but if we actually went and tried to play it nowadays, we would it would get a smile out of us for a little bit, and then we would go back to our usual lives. I
Yeah.
guarantee you that exists in
It
like a
probably already
variety of
does.
different
Like I
ways.
wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if there really was, but it flopped and that would suck. But I would think that it would be like a big deal. Like, oh my god, I gotta make sure he doesn't die. I gotta, swipe, type, feed him, and all that stuff, and or even do a better thing where you can do like a Nintendo Pikmin thing where you can walk with them in real life, and whatever.
I
Anyways,
downloaded that Pikmin game, by the way, the mobile Pikmin game. It
mm.
came out. It's not on our new releases. I just realized it, but it's available right now if you want to go check it out. Pikmin Bloom, the new Niantic game. But I haven't really played it much yet.
All right. Blood Omen Legacy of Kain came out on the PS1 and PC. I honestly thought the game was just titled Legacy of Kain, by the way. Like, I didn't know it was the subtitle. I think that was like was it Crystal Dynamics game, I think? I don't know. Not Tomb Raider, but Legacy of Kain. I feel like I've seen that developer when I looked at the Wikipedia. Anyways, Tomb Raider came out on the PS1, Sega Saturn, and MS DOS. What the fuck? Okay. Sonic 3D Blast came out on the Sega Saturn and the Genesis. Donkey Kong Country 3 came out on the Super Nintendo. Killer Instinct Gold came out on the Nintendo 64. Area 51 came out on PS1, PC, and Saturn. It actually came out in the arcades a year prior. So I honestly didn't even know that there were home console versions of Area 51 because it's a light gun game. But whatever. Dead or Alive came out on the arcade, and then it came out on the Saturn the following year, and then the PS1 the year after that. And FIFA Soccer 97 came out on the Sega Genesis, the PS1, PC, Super Nintendo, Sega Saturn, and Game Boy. Those versions they can't all be like the same thing. And finally, Bubsy 3D came out on the PS1. It was like the fourth entry in the franchise. It was their jump to 3D. I don't know if it was successful or not, but there you go.
So, Legacy of Kain was developed by Silicon Knights, but it was published by Crystal Dynamics.
Mm.
Um, and I wanted to tell you that I looked up Tamagotchi on the App Store, and there's a bunch of different
Oh, but it's
either
not official. I
clones
need that
or
official.
well,
Yeah.
there's one that is straight up called My Tamagotchi Forever, which I guess might be official, but it just looks, it has this new modernized mobile game look. It looks actually super generic, so I don't. It's not what you would have wanted, right?
Yeah.
But there are some clones that are more similar to the old
Uh,
school art style and stuff.
those bastards. Anything you wanted to
um,
say about
I
these games?
Not really. I don't really have a strong attachment to any of these things. I mean,
Really?
Tomb Raider, but if anything, Tomb Raider. But I only really got into Tomb Raider more with a new, more modern trilogy.
Yeah, it's got
So
tank controls. It's very polygonal. I would say like I remember like back in the day there was like this controversy was there somebody like hacked in like topless mode for Lara Croft and it gave her big boobs and stuff like that. I don't even think that were like I was actually like officially like a cheat code within the game. It was like somebody had to like make it happen. Which is like bad textures. It's like bad, like polygonal, like what the? It's not even, yeah, whatever. I played Killer Instinct Gold back in the day, like on my cousin's house on his 64, and I was really good at it. And I remember whooping ass. I even did a let's play of it on my YouTube channel, if you guys want to check it out. And Area 51 always ate a lot of my quarters when playing it at the arcade. So yeah, all right. Moving right along here, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the 30-year mark, which takes us to November of 1991, and we're gonna start things off with let's see, there we go. I fucked that up. No, November 1991, Nintendo releases Metroid 2: Return of Samus for the Game Boy in North America. Ding ding ding, we got a winner there. So nice. Delphine Software releases cinematic action adventure game Another World for the Amiga, which uses polygons instead of sprites. So it might be the first one. Um, Nintendo releases The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past for the Super Famicom in Japan. We didn't get it until April of that next year. And finally, SNK releases Fatal Fury: King of Fighters for the Neo Geo. We got Terry Bogard. He's in Smash, and it's a really good fighting game. And King of Fighters is still a franchise going on to this day. So yeah, pretty dope, pretty
so
decent.
Metroid 2, I tried playing it before. I think I have it on the 3DS Virtual Console, but And I played it a little bit. I put some time into it, but it doesn't really hold up that well. But I we should remind everybody that that is the game that got remade into Samus Returns on the 3DS. And Samus Returns is a great Metroid game in my opinion. So you should go and play that and know that it came from Metroid 2 if you're interested in it. And then A Link to the Past. I didn't really play until much later. I actually think that the first time I played A Link to the Past would have been on the Wii's Virtual Console,
Damn.
which to be fair, I got the Wii on my 13-year-old birthday, so you can't really expect much from me before that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's when I played it for the first time. But I never beat A Link to the Past.
I've seen A Link to the Past like on at a friend's house on the Super Nintendo and stuff like that. So like I've seen it back in the day. I never played it until like I was an adult in 2013 with the launch of the PS4. Like I literally had a PS4 brand new out the box, but I was playing the Super Nintendo instead. And then my brother was like, he came into the room and saw me and he's like, "What the, like just you have a PS4 right there," and you're like. Yeah, so I thought it was funny, but yeah, I think the 3 out of 4. These are pretty dope releases. Actually, 2 out of 4 because Zelda didn't come out in until the following year. All right, 35 years ago, November of 1986, Sega releases Alex Kidd in Miracle World. It is the first game in the Alex Kidd series created for this character and is the most popular of all the Alex Kidd games. This game recently got
Yeah, I
remade.
remember we saw it in a Nintendo Direct or something. But I never played any game in that franchise, so I can't really speak much for it.
All right. And by the way, I think Alex Kidd was intended to be like Sega's Mario at the time,
Mm,
until Sega just sort of like switched, like did a pivot to Sonic when they created Sonic. Um, 40 years ago, November of 1981, the British video game magazine and Computer and Video Games C&VG starts. The Microvision was discontinued. Namco releases Bosconian for the arcade, which is a multi-directional shooter with voice, and Nintendo's Game & Watch is released in Sweden. Now, the reason why I put that last one in there is because there's a whole YouTube documentary about that that you should check out. Nintendo of Europe is a weird startup company where like this guy he sort of faked his way into a meeting with Nintendo and brought the Game and Watch line to Europe. And it was like
mm.
a situation where he was like sort of like fake it till you make it, and he was also like batting out of his league. Like he was presenting himself as a bigger company or a bigger partner than he
Right.
actually was. And I thought that was really interesting. So yeah, I thought that was cool. Anything you wanted to say?
No, I don't know any of these things to be honest with you.
All right.
It's too This stuff is too old
This
now.
stuff is too old for you. All right, cool, cool. Next up, 45 years ago, November of 1976, Fairchild Camera and Instrument releases the Video Entertainment System, later known as the VES or Channel F. It's the first video game console to use a microprocessor and cartridges. Damn, in 76. Next up, Coleco releases the Telstar, or the Telstar, a console clone of Pong based on the General Instruments AY3-8500 microchip. Very in the weeds there, but I've seen a picture of it on Wikipedia. It's like a little like plug and play thing with like a little knob. And then
Hmm.
I thought this was really interesting is because actually Fairchild Camera and Instruments, they are actually like they're a bit of a technology company. They're not a video game company. They're actually a bigger they're they're a bit in the spy world, by the way. Like they actually used to like sell like camera technology to like the CIA and FBI and stuff like that. They're big players in like in other stuff. So I thought that was really interesting. I knew that company. That's why I wanted to put it on there. And finally, 50 years ago, we finally did it. We've never done a 50 years ago, because there's a reason why, by the way. So 50 years ago in 1971, it is the dawn of gaming, straight up. At the beginning of the 1970s, video games existed almost entirely as novelties passed around by programmers and technicians with access to computers, primarily at research institutions at large companies. So it's very, very like private, like freaking large ass mega computers. What do you call it? Yeah, those were like in facilities and stuff like that. So we got the release of two games. All right, Computer Space is released in North America. It's created by Nolan Bushnell, which we covered on a
From
previous.
Atari.
Yeah, from Atari,
Yeah.
exactly. It was created by Nolan Bushnell and Ted Dabney in a partnership with Sizzy Engineering. It was the first arcade video game, period. Just the first arcade, and it was the first commercially available video game to the public. So
Dang.
damn. Galaxy Game is released. Potentially the first video game to spread to multiple computer installations. So like you actually had, I mean, it's probably like a floppy disk or something like that, and they had to like copy the program from computer to computer manually. So it was probably the first of that kind, which is kind of. And also I put a little fun fact when I was researching them. Funny enough, both of these games are a derivative or an expansion of a 1962 computer game called Space War.
This is computer space. I am showing it on the screen right now. I actually this is probably getting
There
clear.
you go. There you go. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks very it almost looks like honestly like the shape of this arcade cabinet almost looks like something straight out of like a 70s or 80s futuristic movie, like what they imagine the future to look like basically. But very interesting.
Let me put up. Let me bring up Computer Space on my screen so I can show you guys better. Let's see images. There we go. I got it. So I'm putting it up on screen. These cabinets look very ugh. You know, I'm looking at these yellow and blue cabinets. I'm guessing this blue cabinet was the one that you were showing me. It's very. I don't know how to. It doesn't seem like this weird shape is just doesn't work for me.
It's what I'm telling you. It's what they imagine future would be at that point.
Yeah, yeah.
I do
Computer
think that was
space.
intentional.
Yeah. All right. Cool. 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 So that was the Temple of Time, and 50 years, man. It's the dawn. It's the motherfucking dawn of video gaming, and we finally covered it.
Yeah.
It's like the Big Bang Theory. It's like we can only rewind time as far as we can.
True, true, true. No, that's pretty cool. I often forget that there were things before Pong, but there were things before Pong. We usually think of Pong as the first video game, but there are these some of these rare things that came out a little before it that are not talked about in the same breath.
I wonder if they're like
But
preserved. I wonder if like these original
no,
like big ass computers or whatever were preserved or whatever. That would be really interesting if you could see it at a museum or something.
I would think that you probably can somewhere. I would hope so. But we shall see. I don't know. I guess we could look that up and try to figure that out.
Yeah.
But Lewis, let's after our longest Temple of Time to date, let's move on to our topics of discussion. And by the way, I believe we're still going to end the show on time, despite
Oh,
the fact that we had the longest Temple of Time to date. But we'll see.
nice.
That's
Okay.
on me from now on. Um, so our first story here. Let's see what we're going to start with. This one, yeah, the first one that is on the dock. Skydance New Media joins forces with Marvel Entertainment. I actually got the direct report from the Marvel website because I thought this was actually pretty decent. Skydance New Media, the new interactive division of Skydance Media, helmed by award-winning writer and director Amy Hennig from Uncharted fame, announced today a partnership with Marvel Entertainment to develop a narrative-driven blockbuster action-adventure game featuring a completely original story and take on the Marvel Universe. This marks the first initiative from the new AAA game studio, which was formed by Hennig and Electronic Arts veteran Julian Beek to pioneer a new category of story-focused interactive entertainment, a groundbreaking convergence of games, film, and television. Open quote. I can't imagine a better partner than Marvel for our first game, said Hennig, president of Skydance New Media. The Marvel Universe epitomizes all the action, mystery, and thrills of the pulp adventure genre that I adore and lends itself perfectly to an interactive experience. It is an honor to be able to tell an original story with all the humanity, complexity, and humor that makes Marvel characters so enduring and to enable our players to embody these heroes that they love. End quote. Amy has been setting the bar for narrative adventure games for decades, and we're happy to be collaborating with the talented and experienced new media team at Skydance, said Jay Yong, Executive Vice President and Head of Marvel Games. Open quote. Their ambition and vision for making innovative entertainment using beloved Marvel IP was obvious from our first meeting. We're excited to share more with Marvel fans when the time is right. End quote. To create this all new interactive experience, Skydance New Media has assembled an accomplished crew of developers with decades of AAA experience in action and adventure gaming, as well as a diverse team of creative consultants from the worlds of film, television, and comics. The Skydance New Media team is laser focused on creating high fidelity, richly interactive experiences crafted for traditional gaming platforms as well as emerging streaming services and designed to be appealing, inviting, and accessible to a global audience. Final quote here. We are enormously excited to be working inside the Marvel Universe to craft a rich narrative of our own, said Beek, Executive Vice President and GM of Skydance New Media. Jay and his team at Marvel Games are helping us make the best experiences imaginable. Lewis, what do you say about this? Are you excited? You know, we've been talking about Amy. Every once in a while, we talk about Amy Hennig. What is she up to right now? You know, and they actually announced that she was creating this new studio a while ago, but I think we might have missed. We might have missed it. I don't remember. It might have been an extra news item, but now we know what they're working on, and I think there's a lot of promise here.
You know what's kind of funny is like I'm never really a fan of PR speak. I always like
Mhm.
say bah humbug to PR speak, but this is one of the rare instances where I am like eating from their hands. I'm like num 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 num. Like I am so thrilled and very happy and excited. Like this just warms me up. Like seeing some of the stuff, and I really believe it. Like when I see these quotes, these granted I under want to give a caveat that this is PR speak, but something
Mhm.
about these quotes makes it feel very earnest, and it makes it feel like it's true that these guys are in it for their passion. They're very much trying to when this new company is basically trying to get away from like the corporatization, the monetization, the microtransactions of it
Right.
all, and they just want to make something good. They want to make a good product, and I feel like this is how you do it. You get creative people, you get people that are passionate and want to work with the IP, and just basically do a good job of pitching them on what they want to do. As a matter of fact, I'm actually kind of happy that things went down this way in the sense that I always wanted Disney to make their games in house. I always kind of like guffawed the idea that Disney shuttered its studios and started licensing out their IP and stuff like that instead of making them themselves. But now, thanks to that decision, we get to see like the most talented people, land these gigs like Insomniac and Skydance Media and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's exciting. Obviously, it's way too early to get overly excited about it. I mean, we probably won't see anything substantial from this game for at least another 2 or 3 years. We shall see. Maybe they're farther along than we think, and they're only announcing it now. But I do think there's a few things that are interesting here. They're already telling us what we can expect from the game, right? They're already saying like this is going to be like this, going to be like that. It seems like this is going to have a strong narrative focus, especially with Amy Hennig heading the studio. And then on top of that, they're also talking about it was almost like a throwaway line that they're consulting with big names from the film and the comic book industry. So I feel like there's a good chance that they're trying to do something innovative here, that they're trying to go outside of the traditional, Uncharted type storytelling in games. I don't know what this means, but this could be, there's a chance here, and it's too early to say this, like I said, but there's a chance here that this could be a new frontier in narrative games, similar to how Heavy Rain and then Telltale's The Walking Dead, how some of these games establish new frontiers for narrative games as well. So I think this has a lot of potential. There's a lot of interesting things here. Now I got to ask you, Lewis. We saw the Guardians of the Galaxy game that just came out. I forgot now who developed that. That's getting really good reviews. We also got Crystal Dynamics with Marvel's Avengers, which has not been received so well. But then we got Insomniac with Spider Man, and now they're working on Wolverine. Which part of the Marvel universe do you think would make sense for the studio to work with?
So I don't know. I just kind of feels like Amy Hennig would be one of the types that would want to make her own universe, her own little like Insomniac has
Hmm.
its little Insomniac universe that's not really related to anything. I think that if you want to tell a story and you want to be like have like as much creative license as you can, I think you're better off not pigeonholing yourself. Like for instance, I would be a little like not upset, but like a little kind of like kind of if they were to announce that this is an MCU tie-in. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
I don't think they're doing that. What I meant, and they did say that they're creating an original story, but I guess the way I looked at it is like, is it going to be an original Iron Man story? Is it going to be about the Hulk? Is it going to be about Doctor Strange or Captain Marvel or Black Panther or a combination of different characters? That's kind of what I'm wondering. Like,
yeah.
because that there would be no point to the deal if they're only creating new characters. They're obviously going to bring in some of the big Marvel names, and then with Spider-Man taken and Guardians of the Galaxy taken and the Avengers kind of taken. Like, I
Wolverine,
wonder,
yeah.
yeah, Wolverine. I
Interesting.
wonder who's left here. You know,
Yeah, actually, I didn't
that's
realize
what
that.
I'm. Yeah.
What kind of character would Amy Hennig want to work with? Like, I don't know. It wouldn't be like anything gritty or hard R like it wouldn't be Punisher, but
Hmm.
you know, interesting. I
I
don't know.
think there's a good chance that this could be a slightly deeper cut in the Marvel universe, and I think that's kind of exciting. But only time will tell. I'm probably still years away from finding out.
All right, you know what? I'm just gonna go out and say this: female lead.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's
That.
gotta you gotta do that. So She
Um.
Hulk. There you go.
Who knows? Who knows? Right.
Or Captain
Uh,
Marvel. Captain Marvel. Fuck it. There you go. Yeah.
Moving on to our next story here, and once again, I'm going straight to the source from this one. This is posted on the Netflix page itself. Let the games begin. A new way to experience entertainment on mobile. We've talked about Netflix games and their initiatives before. This is just kind of like an update on that front that seems to indicate what some of their plans might be. So I thought it was an interesting one to discuss as well. We love games, whether it's physical games such as The Floor is Lava, mind games like The Circle or Squid Game, wink. And we love entertaining our members. That's why we're excited to take our first step in launching Netflix games on mobile to the world. Starting today, this was earlier this week, members everywhere can play 5 mobile games: Stranger Things 1984, Stranger Things 3 The Game, Shooting Hoops, Card Blast, and Teeter Up. Whether you're craving a casual game, you can start from scratch, or an immersive experience that lets you dig deeper into your favorite stories, we want to begin to build a library of games that offers something for everyone. We're in the early days of creating a great gaming experience, and we're excited to take you on this journey with us. We want to share all the details so you can start playing right away. Level one, your Netflix membership is your all access pass. All you need is a Netflix subscription. There's no ads, no additional fees, and no in app purchases. Don't let the Demogorgon tell you otherwise. Level two, available on Android everywhere, or mobile games are currently available on Android devices when you log into your Netflix profile. Members on Android mobile phone will see a dedicated games row and a games tab where you can select any game to download, not just stream. Members on an Android tablet will see a dedicated games row to be able to select games from the categories drop down menu or to download and play. Level 3, players around the world are welcome. Our mobile games are available in many of the languages we offer on service, so your games will automatically default to the preference set in your Netflix profile. If your language is not yet available, games will default to English. Level 4, and yes, that means every profile on your account, members will be able to play games on multiple mobile devices in the same account. If you hit your device limit, we'll let you know, and if needed, you can sign out of devices not in use or deactivate them remotely on Netflix.com to free up a slot. Level 5, adults only. We know how important child safety is to the parents, caregivers, and guardians on our service. So these games are not available on kids' profiles. If you set up a PIN to prevent kids from having access to adult profiles, that same PIN will be required in order to log into Netflix and play the game on a device. Level 6, no connection, no problem. While some mobile games may require an internet connection, others will be available to play offline to make those long trips in areas with bad Wi Fi a lot more tolerable. Level 7, we're catering to every kind of player. Just like our series, films, and specials, we want to design games for any level of play and every kind of player, whether you're a beginner or a lifelong gamer. And we're just getting started. We're excited to continue improving our mobile gaming experience and adding to our entertainment offering in the months ahead. So, what are you waiting for? Let the games begin. Lewis, I'll give this to you while I catch my breath because I did read this entire thing. I didn't expect I would in the beginning, but I felt like all of it was relevant.
Relevant. Yeah.
I want to know, what do you think of this now and where you think it's going to go?
I'm a little impressed. I was first like at the idea of Netflix making games. I'm like, oh, it's just so corporate or whatever, you know. Like, but now when I can sort of see like the let's say the benefits, but where the what's the word I'm looking for? The where the appeal is what I was looking for. Yeah, so I can see where the appeal is, and so as far as like they're targeting mobile gaming, and I can see with them having like a Stranger Things game, like you can sort of like do these things where like all these things are like being they're in synergy with each other. They can cross promote each other, and I think it's really hella convenient. There's already 200 million people with Netflix, so just offering them more benefits is going to be uh, um, a situation where you can retain customers. People don't have to cancel their Netflix subscription because it makes it more enticing for them to keep it. So I just think it's really funny that they're only available on Android because iOS Apple is a bitch. We all know that. Um, and yeah, I just think that this is really cool, and I think that. I can sort of believe that they're only getting started because, like, this selection of games, while not impressive, but you can sort of begin to imagine what they can do. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right. So a while ago, when Netflix started doing those things where they had the interactive experiences like Bandersnatch and a few other ones that they did, I started thinking about how, oh, this is the future of Netflix, and it kind of intertwines with the future of gaming a little bit. Where at some point you're going to be scrolling through the tiles on Netflix, and there's going to be tiles that are movies, tiles that are TV shows, and tiles that are games. And I also thought of it as less of a less of defined categories and more of a spectrum where you could have like maybe a movie with some interactability, like the game Erica that's available on PS4, or Bandersnatch, which is the Netflix thing. It could go all the way to a game that is more fully interactable, but also everything in between. And I thought they would really explore that spectrum in a similar way that they already explore with their breadth of content between TV and movies. When you think about it, because you obviously got movies and you got traditional TV shows, but then you got these shows that are only like they're mini series, they're only a few episodes long, or you got something that is a movie but that's almost as long. There are movies like The Irishman that are longer than some TV show might be, or you know what I mean. And the way that it all kind of blends together, I felt like it was going to go somewhere um, where we're going to see a similar type of spectrum in the interactivity realm. And because of that, I always believed that anything Netflix did with gaming would be not something you downloaded. I always thought that it would be something that you're streaming,
Yeah, me
right?
too.
Similar to Stadia and everything else, because it just felt like that would feed into their already existing business model in a more smoother way.
Yeah,
um,
same.
Especially when you can have Netflix on so many different devices. You can't download a game like this on your smart TV, at least not right now. So I just thought it would be less complicated for them to approach it in that route. So the thing that surprises me the most about this is the fact that you can actually download these games to your phone, and that you can play them that way. And I think that's a good sign. I think that's a sign that what they're planning for the future might be more akin to Xbox Game Pass and less like Google Stadia.
I was thinking more along the lines of Apple Arcade, but same thing.
Yeah, or even that, right? And now I'm going to be excited to see. This is clearly some kind of test run, and I'm excited to see where it grow on mobile first. See if they keep supporting it, if they keep putting more games in it. I think it's a great opportunity for cross promotion, like you said. I can see that you're going to finish watching the latest episode of Stranger Things, and I bet there's plenty of people in the world that would do that on their phone, and then at the end it will already link you to do you want to continue the story or whatever, like, and download the game or something. um just like they have things feed into each other that way already. And but I want to see them do more, and I want to see them do other platforms. I want to see them do I think PC would might be next. Actually, I think that might make more sense at first. um, but yeah, I would love to see them keep expanding that to the point where that future I once imagined could be real, could be true.
Could be even bigger than Apple Arcade. Which
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think Apple
exactly.
Arcade is, from my understanding, is successful. So, you know, Yeah.
All right, so we'll see where this goes across the next few months and possibly years. Now, something that happened over the last week as well is that we got to see Nintendo release some new financials. Nintendo Switch sales down 34% in H1. Total units sold hit 92.8 million, as reported by Danielle Parties in GamesIndustry.biz. Profits decrease as company readjusts from an anomalous 2020 and the constraints of semiconductor shortages. Nintendo has released its financial results for the 6 month period ended September 30th, 2021, noting a moderate decline in console sales. However, they're still selling really well. For the half, I'm not going to get into too much of the numbers here, but uh, let's see. Nintendo noted a decline in Switch consoles during the period. It sold 8.28 million units, a 34% decrease year over year. Off that number, 1.8 million were Switch Lite
Wait, before we go
consoles.
any further here, I just got to
Yes.
say two things are at play. Number one, yeah, there is the Switch shortage or the supply shortage, but also I think that 2020 was an inflated year in
Yes.
sales. Like because of like lockdown and COVID, the demand was so much higher that the sales like people's sales ballooned. And I think that comparing last year or to this year is a little I can say like I would say on this meter it would be a little closer to unwarranted, but whatever.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that 8 million units in a 6 month period for a console that is in its year 4 or 5, that's still really good. That is like those are really good sale numbers. It's still a hit. I would say.
Yeah,
Software sales for the period decreased by 6% to 93.8 million units, so a much smaller decrease there. Overall, the company has cumulatively sold 92.8 million Switch units since launch and 681 million software units. Right now, that puts the Switch into the top 10 best-selling consoles list. I think that it's coming close. It's now past the PS3 and the Xbox 360, and it's approaching the Wii actually. Um, it's not that far from soon surpassing the Wii, possibly surpassing the. Let me see. I actually had a list pulled up on my phone, so I think I'm going to bring that up right here. Um, yeah, so the next one would be the Wii at 101 million units. So if they maintain the amount of sales that they're having, they're going to surpass the Wii in another 6 months. And then after that, it would be the original PlayStation, which is about the same amount. So they would get there relatively quickly as well. And then that would already put the Switch as the fifth best selling console of all time. So the Switch is on track to become the fifth best selling console of all time in about within the next year, which
yeah.
is
And
I
with
think
Black
is
Friday around the
pretty
corner,
cool.
with Black Friday around the corner, they're gonna hit 100 million before the year's over. So
Oh yeah, there's that too. Um, let's see. I don't know if there's a lot more here to talk about. The company points to Metroid Dread, which launched alongside the OLED, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, and Shining Pearl due out later this month, and Pokemon Arceus slated to release in January 2022. Nintendo also refreshed its Switch Online offering last month. We already know that. We already talked about that. Um, so I wish that this article also included the best-selling games list because I think that also
I
had an
have it.
update.
I just put it on the dock
Oh, you
just
have
now.
it?
I just put
Cool,
it on
cool,
the dock
cool.
just now, so I'm gonna put it up on screen right now. The best-selling games, and I'm totally hijacking your hosting duties, but whatever.
No, go for it.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has 38.7 million at number one. Animal Crossing New Horizons at 34 million. Smash Ultimate 25 million. Breath of the Wild 24 million. Sword and Shield 22. Odyssey at 21.9. Super Mario Party at 16.4. Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee at 13. Splatoon 2 at 12.6. And Ring Fit Adventure at 12.2. Ring Fit Adventure at the top made it to the top 10 best selling
Yeah,
software in all of Switch software. That's crazy. Um,
that is crazy.
Funny thing to note. Okay, number one, I'm glad that Animal Crossing is no longer threatening Mario Kart 8's uh, reign because it was a little close a couple of quarters ago. Number one, and number two, I also want to point out that if you look over to the Wii tab, you can see that the highest selling Mario Kart game ever was Mario Kart Wii at 37.38 million units, and now it's been surpassed by Mario Kart 8 Deluxe,
Dang.
38.7 million, and that is not including Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. So that's just like, even bigger. So if you were to do it that way. So I just thought that that's awesome that the Switch's Mario Kart, which is not even its own, mind you, is the highest selling Mario Kart in the franchise.
Yeah, that is pretty insane. So yeah, the Switch continues to be a hit. It is in decline, where it's probably not gonna ever sell as much as it did in 2020, given all the circumstances that we already talked about. But it's still selling pretty well, and it is on track to becoming one of the best. It's already one of the best selling consoles of all time. It's on track to keep climbing that list, going up and creeping up closer to the top few over there. We'll see where it ultimately lands when it's all said and done.
I just wanted to say one last thing. If Nintendo managed to continue to put out like not say banger software because they have been, but more like hype inducing software, like 2017 was. If every year was 2017, we would be at 150 million units by now, probably, if it wasn't for any supply shortage. But yeah, just throwing that out there.
All right. On to our next story here, Louis. I thought this was something that might interest you, despite the fact that it's a bit of a deeper cut type story. But I brought this from Ars Technica, as reported by Kyle Orland. Modder pleads guilty to piracy charges. Will pay Nintendo $4.5 million. Gary Bowser, that's his name, not related to Doug Bowser, I'd assume, will plead guilty to two federal felony charges related to his work with Team Executor, the maker of the SX line of Switch modding devices and other tools Bowser now admits were predominantly and primarily designed to allow purchasers to play pirated ROMs. Bowser, a 51-year-old Canadian national who went by the handle Gary Opa online, was arrested last year in the Dominican Republic before being extradited to the United States. The government is still seeking the extradition of French national Max Luorn, who was arrested in Tanzania at the same time as Bowser. Bowser pleaded guilty to two of the. Sorry, it's just too funny to read this.
The fact that there was a coordinated sting effort to arrest two people in different countries at the same time, so they couldn't warn each other. But yeah.
Yes. Bowser pleaded guilty to two of the 11 felony counts against him relating to trafficking and circumvention devices and conspiracy to do the same. Combined, the two charges come with a maximum penalty of 10 years in prison. In exchange, prosecutors have agreed to drop the other 9 charges. In plea documents obtained by Torrent Freak, Bowser admits that he knowingly and willfully participated in a cybercriminal enterprise that hacked leading gaming consoles and that developed, manufactured, marketed, and sold a variety of circumvention devices that allowed the enterprise's customers to play pirated versions of copyrighted video games between June 2013 and his arrest last year. The plea goes on to admit that the enterprise attempted to cloak its illegal activity with a purported desire to support homebrew enthusiasts who wanted to design their own games, but the predominant and primary design of the enterprise's products was to allow purchasers to play pirated ROMs. Um, anyway, Lewis, I know you're kind of more involved in the ROM scene, let's say, than I am. What do you think of this? Do you care about this at all?
I mean, I've actually heard about the story. I think he was like this is like arrested like a while back. So I think this is just more of the fact that it's an update to the story as far as his plea deal or whatever, or like his guilty plea. Um, but yeah, I just think that it was. It's just I feels like this is dumb, but also at the same time I can see where it's going because it looks like he was actually like hacking the hardware of the Switch as far as like making sure that everything like there's these bypasses that are happening and Nintendo doesn't fuck around. We all know that they really don't fuck
Mm-hmm.
around. They're going after RGT85, who's a YouTuber, for reviewing for reviewing Metroid Dread before the game came out because he was able to get a copy of the game of that from a retailer that broke street date
Oh,
because
dang.
he wasn't given a copy by Nintendo for review. But
I thought you were gonna say he was reviewing it with an emulator,
no, no,
like
no,
the Kotaku folks.
no, no. Oh my God, that was a thing. Oh my God, I did not
Yeah.
know about
Okay.
that.
So no, I'm actually misrepresenting the story. So let me correct myself. Kotaku wrote an article shortly after Metroid Dread came out, or when it was about to come out, or something. It was around like the week of release, And the title of the article was "Metroid Dread is great on this new emulator on PC or whatever," and they were talking about how you could emulate the game on PC and so forth. Like in the week the game had come out, so people went down hard at them
Well, I mean, I would
because of
say
that. But
emulators are probably better at the. It's better. It's beefier hardware, so you're probably gonna get more textures out of it or whatever. So, but no, like it's kind of funny because RGT85, he literally got an advanced copy of the game because a retailer broke street date, and so he
mhm.
didn't. So he didn't. He actually put his video review on YouTube after the embargo, so he was able to get like coverage alongside all the IGNs of the world. So yeah, I just thought that was funny. But this story, like without knowing too much more about like the ramifications of what he's done, like if it was really a situation where he could cost Nintendo money, or if it was like really he really was trying to do criminal activity or really doing bad things, nefarious things, then obviously I'm gonna side with Nintendo. But if it's a situation where like I don't know if it really is it's hard to believe if it's about homebrew or whatever, if it's about that or not. So I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Um, for our final topic of discussion here today, it's going to be a quick one just to check this out. Squid Game knockoff Crab Game blows up on Steam and Twitch. This is
Because
reported here by Michael McWhorter for Polygon, and you can just kind of play the video,
that's
Lewis.
what I'm doing.
Yeah, so Netflix's Squid Game has been inescapable since the hit streaming series debuted in September. And while there's no official video game based on Hwag Dong-hyuk's action drama yet, there's a pretty solid multiplayer knockoff out there called Crab Game. Crab Game was released on Steam in late October and has two major selling points. It is basically a Squid Game multiplayer game and it's free. Players can hop into lobbies and play a series of deadly playground inspired battle royale games, including games featured in Squid Game like the Red Light, Green Light. The show's terrifying glass bridge is a set of icy stepping stones in Crab Game, for example. But since some Squid Game fare wouldn't translate into frenetic multiplayer mayhem, for instance, the marbles or the PUBG, classic alternatives like Tag, The Floor is Lava, and Hide and Seek round out the list of playable games in Crab Game. It is already a hit on Steam with more than 30,000 concurrent players as of Tuesday. On Twitch, it's pulling in more than 20,000 viewers, putting it ahead of streaming favorites like Final Fantasy XIV Online, PUBG Battlegrounds, Overwatch, and Rocket League. Yeah, so just something kind of random, but I just wanted to throw that out there, Louis, in case this had not made it into your radar yet. That this crazy Squid Game inspired video game is out there, and it looks terrible. By the way, it looks like one of those like goat simulator type things where it's just like it's just a game to be a meme that was probably developed in a short timeline, trying to hit that that
The
um
zeitgeist.
the zeitgeist exactly. But it might be fun. So go and check that out if you're interested.
It must be content creators must have a field day with this. It looks like a
Oh
good.
yeah,
It looks like a good content creator game.
a
Um,
hundred percent.
that being said, like I am just genuinely surprised, and I really, not how do I put this? I'm not. I shouldn't be surprised. You know what I mean? Like the internet knows no bounds. And yeah, actually when I saw the trailer, some of it actually kind of looked kind of fun. Like real talk, it looks a
Yeah,
little inviting.
and they made it really fucking fast, right? Like this, the show is still fairly recent in my mind. And in fact, if you watch Squid Game and you'd be curious about Louis and I thoughts on it, we did an entire spoiler cast on Ready Play Movies, which will be
Hey,
available, in perpetuity.
yeah, it's on this YouTube channel, so there you go.
Now, Louis, let's hit up our extra news here today. We got 12 items in the list plus a roundup.
A baker's does it.
Number one, Marvel's Avengers has stopped selling its XP boosters following player pushback.
Yay.
Number two, Sony Interactive Entertainment will be making a 5% investment in Devolver Digital, now valued at $950 million. Number three, Forza Horizon 5 has raised to the top of the review aggregator charts, making it the highest rated new game of the year so far. Number four, Harry Potter Wizards Unite, the other AR game developed by Niantic, is shutting down on January 31st, 2022.
No, I'm not even gonna say those bastards because do I really care? No, I don't.
All right, I was just waiting for it. Number five, to celebrate the release of Riot Games and Netflix's animated League of Legends series Arcane, various characters and items from the game are making their way to PUBG Mobile. Number six, Meta, the new name for the Facebook company, is removing Facebook logging requirement for Quest VR headsets by next year.
Yay.
Number 7, Nintendo is closing its Redwood City in California and Toronto in Canada offices, the company has confirmed in a statement. Number 8, Ubisoft announces plans to develop play to earn blockchain and NFT games. Number 9, Sega and Microsoft formed a strategic alliance that explores ways for Sega to produce large scale global games in a next gen development environment built on Microsoft's Azure cloud platform.
The hell does that even mean? But okay.
Well, Sega and Microsoft are collaborating to develop new games that use the cloud platform.
You know what's kind of
I don't
funny
know.
is like Microsoft collaborated with Sega when they helped them create the Dreamcast. So it's kind of funny
Mm.
like they've been in bed with each other for so many years.
Number 10, Nintendo's wireless N64 controller for Nintendo Switch has completely sold out until next year.
Those
So
bastards.
if you didn't get it, you're not getting it anytime soon, like a lot of other things in tech right now. Number 11, Speedrunner Save State has been able to beat The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time in under 5 minutes through the game's demo included in Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
That is old.
Uh,
I've seen that. I saw that YouTube video a long time ago. So
all right, I
yeah,
just saw that come up in my feed, so
yeah.
sorry about that. Number 12, collector editions for Halo Infinite and Elden Ring have gone for sale in the web. I believe they're already sold out, but if you're interested in these games, you might want to go look for that right now. And for the roundup, Marvel's Avengers is going to get Spider-Man and a few more things on November 30th. Firaxis has delayed the Marvel Midnight Suns game to the second half of 2022. It was originally expected in March. And Blizzard has announced that they're delaying Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 out of 2022. I actually believe they were not clear about it, but they just said the games are delayed. And because they did not have a release date yet, other than just the year, it is assumed that those games are now out of the 2022 calendar year, meaning that Lewis, we both will have gotten our predictions wrong for
Yeah,
the release dates of
I
both
was
of
about
these
to say
games.
like didn't we have like predictions that were about this? So yeah. Midnight Suns,
Yeah,
the Midnight Suns actually doesn't surprise me because all we saw was a cinematic. We have not seen anything
yeah.
since. So the fact that we're already in like towards the end of the year and we're about to hit Q1 and not a single trailer, so nothing, no gameplay. So yeah, that's not so surprising. I honestly am more surprised actually about the fact that we're getting Spider-Man in Marvel's Avengers on the PlayStation now. I know he was announced a long time ago that it was to happen, but I thought it was Spider-Man was delayed into 2022 is my understanding. So I'm surprised that it's coming out this month. So
I also feel like I haven't seen any fanfare for it or hype or that's a story that could have been a main topic of discussion, but I feel like it just kind of like it felt like it was just kind of like a press release kind of thing. So I didn't think there was much to add there, but yeah. The one thing I got to say, happy about the Facebook login requirement being removed from the Quest. Maybe that will motivate me to use my Quest headset again. I got it for my birthday and then I barely used it. Um, then the other thing is that I'm kind of surprised that Niantic is closing the Harry Potter game. I guess that I knew that that wasn't a hit like Pokemon Go was, but I expected that just on having the Harry Potter name alone, that you would find enough of a player base to keep itself running for a little bit longer.
I
I feel like
actually
that
forgot
game is
that the
still
game.
new.
I forgot that the game even came existed. I forgot that it was a thing.
And the Pikmin Niantic game just came out. So I wonder if it's one of those things where it's like they're shifting their focus to Pikmin now, which makes it so that they can't really support Harry Potter anymore, and there's probably such a small player base that it doesn't justify it. But I downloaded that game when it came out, and I never even like tapped it. Like I never even opened it, and
Wait,
now it makes me want to do it before January 31st.
didn't we talk about this game like when it first came out, like during the Ready Press Plays run, or did it come out during Ready Press Play, or did it come out before
I
that?
think it came out during the Ready Press Play run. We might have covered it in some fashion, but I didn't actually get to play it. No,
Interesting.
maybe you did. I don't know.
I never downloaded it.
Um,
I didn't
and
even know
now,
that anything happened, so whatever.
quick question: do you think Forza Horizon 5, being the highest rated game of the year, has a chance at getting a Game of the Year nomination at the Game Awards
A
next month?
snowball's chance in hell. Like I don't think
Mm-hmm.
so. I don't even know if like racing simulators are just so niche. You can't. I don't think that you can get like the press behind, nominating it for Game of the Year and talking about like putting it next to insert story based game here.
I would normally agree with you, but I don't know. I feel like there's a chance, a higher chance than typical this year. I think this year might be an exception because I feel like the big games that came out this year are all a little bit more niche. Like we don't have that many big mainstream critically acclaimed releases that would take the oxygen out of it to the point where it's like I feel like there will be people that will be nominating It Takes Two or nominating Death's Door and games like that, and it's possible that if the racing fans come together to nominate, Forza Horizon 5, that it could take like that final like sixth spot or whatever, and it could maybe take it away from one of those either indie games or one of these other games that maybe are a little bit more niche that could get a nomination there.
Is
I don't know.
Deathloop still in the conversation?
It is. It is. I didn't include Deathloop here because I see Deathloop as a guarantee. So I'm thinking like whatever games are not as much of a guarantee, you know.
Yeah.
But we got to do a topic on that. We got to talk
We
about
got to do a
what
topic of
what we think.
discussion on like the game of the year watch or something.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Lewis, all right, so that's it for the extra news. I said I was going to keep the show on schedule. I kind of didn't, but I feel like you have the power now of keeping us more or less on schedule. So I'm going to give it to you, and you're going to take it away for the next segments.
5 or 10 minutes over is not too bad.
What are you buying?
So for new releases, we got an update. Version 1.1 for Super Mario 3D All Stars came out, which added compatibility for the Nintendo Switch Online N64 controller. That is badass. I love that it got an update for the GameCube controller for support for Sunshine, and now you're getting it for Mario 64. It's just mind blowing that the original controllers work for these HD remasters. So,
Oh yeah, totally.
chef kiss. Uh, Animal Crossing has received its 2.0 update, and the premium DLC, Happy Home Paradise, is available to purchase. So if you're a Nintendo Switch Online user or whatever, expansion pack, whatever, you can get it without having to pay for it. The adorable 2009 platformer A Boy and His Blob was released on the Switch this week. I own that game on the Wii, and I played the first bit of it. It is dope. And as far as the actual traditional new releases go, let me go ahead and get ready here. All right, new releases. First up, we have Call of Duty Vanguard on the PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, PC, out on November 5th. Before I read the blurb here, I just want to say I feel like I've not seen any marketing push for Vanguard. So
Not at all, man. Not at all. It almost feels like Activision may be trying to bury this game or something. I don't know. I don't know what's up there. Which I'm
is
gonna
it?
let
It
you
could be
read the
one of two
blurb, but
things. It can be either you're burying the game or you're just the brand will sell itself. You know.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The critically acclaimed Call of Duty franchise returns with Call of Duty Vanguard, in which players will experience global combat through the eyes of heroes of World War II and the fateful events that brought them together. Developed by Sledgehammer Games, Vanguard is a deeply engaging narrative featuring a select group of soldiers from different countries and backgrounds who rise together to meet the world's gravest threat, change the fortunes of the war, and set the table for what we know today as Special Forces combat. Now, let me ask you this: Is with Call of Duty Vanguard, is it supposed to like? Wasn't there like a Call of Duty game that's like that everyone likes? Like it's like a Fortnite competitor. What's the one? I guess I must have lost you. Aha. There we are.
Unfortunately.
I did lose you. Okay, you're back.
Yep.
Yep. So I was gonna ask you, what was that Call of Duty game that's like everyone likes and it's like a Fortnite competitor?
Warzone.
Warzone, yeah. Does Warzone continue to live on while Vanguard is a thing, or is it?
So the way Warzone has worked so far, because Warzone is actually, it doesn't feel like it, but it's actually been out for like 2 years already. They every time a new Call of Duty game comes out, they also come out with a new expansion to Warzone or updates to Warzone that tie in to the new mainline Call of Duty game. So it's kind of um, a new Call of Duty game comes out, and then with it comes almost like a new season on Warzone that matches whatever the theme of the new Call of Duty game is, and they kind of work together in that way. So yeah, it's Warzone continues to exist in perpetuity while the other Call of Duties keep coming out. But I feel like if we ever see a situation where Activision is making more money or significantly more money in Warzone than they do with releasing a new Call of Duty, they might just start focusing on that instead, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
All right. Next up. Damn, this car is loud, by the way. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a car outside my window.
I did hear it.
All
Yeah,
right. Let's Build a Zoo out on PC for November 5th. Next up, Airborne Kingdom, PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on November 9th. Also on November 9th, Football Manager 2022 for Xbox One and PC. And Forza Horizon 5, Xbox Series, Xbox One, PC, November 9th. Your Ultimate Horizon Adventure awaits. Explore the vibrant and ever evolving open world landscapes of Mexico with limitless fun driving action in hundreds of the world's greatest cars. Built for the Xbox Series X and S, and it will feature 4K visuals with 60 frames per second and ray tracing. So yeah, cool, cool, cool. Um, Even though I have Game Pass, I'm probably not even gonna download it. I'm sorry. I'm not a Gran Turismo kind of guy. So next up, Jurassic World Evolution 2, PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, and PC, November 9th. November 10th, we have Among Trees on PC. And November 11th, we have Bright Memory Infinite on PC. Bright Memory Infinite is an all new lightning fast fusion of the first person shooter and action genres created by FYQD Studio, combined with a wide variety of skills and abilities to unleash dazzling combo attacks. In the year 2036, a strange phenomenon for which scientists can find no explanation has occurred in the skies around the world. The Supernatural Science Research Organization, SRO, has sent agents out to various regions to investigate this phenomenon. It is soon discovered that these strange occurrences are connected to the archaic mystery and as of yet unknown history of two worlds about to come to light. And now I remember seeing this game at a Xbox E3 presentation, and real talk, I think it was promoted as the game that was developed by one developer. So I don't know if I'm mistaken on that one. I vaguely remember that. Next up, Grand Theft Auto Trilogy, the definitive edition. PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. November 11th. Now, this is the digital version because fuck you. That's why. Three iconic cities, three epic stories. Play the genre-defining classics of the original Grand Theft Auto trilogy: Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Updated for a new generation, now with across the board enhancements including brilliant new lighting and environmental upgrades with high resolution textures, increased draw distances, Grand Theft Auto 5 style controls and targeting, and much more, bringing these beloved worlds to life with all new levels of detail. Next up, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic for the Switch, November 11th. KOTOR, yay. And finally, Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim Special Edition for PS5 and Xbox Series, 11/11/21.
10-year
So,
anniversary.
yeah, actually, it is. It is actually. I didn't even think about it. So, yeah, that's going to be it for the new releases. And like I said, one of those new releases that I read to you guys is actually a game I'm reviewing for Level 1 Gaming. So tune in next week and we do a little post-mortem discussion on it, as well as check out the actual review itself, of course. And as far as, whatever I'm playing notwithstanding, my personal pick of the week, actually, you know what? I don't even know. I need time to decide. What is your pick of the week, Dan?
I think I think probably what the best game is this week is probably Forza Horizon 5, but once again, it's not necessarily our cup of tea, but that is the game of the week because Call of Duty Vanguard, we don't know yet. I actually think once you read that it was made by Sledgehammer, I think Sledgehammer is the developer that had the most issues with their most recent games in between the different Call of Duty developers. So I think there's some level of skepticism there. And then there's a bunch of re-releases, right? So
Yeah.
GTA Trilogy is a re-release, KOTOR is a re-release, Skyrim a re-release. So I think I got to give it to Forza.
Okay. I'm just gonna do by process of elimination. So based off of the fact that I don't really care about Forza, I don't actually play Call of Duty, and if I do, I only play the campaign. I don't play online or anything like that. So just going by process of elimination. If I want to enjoy a first-person shooter, I want to enjoy a campaign, a story, a narrative thing. Bright Memory Infinite is the only one that actually moves the needle for me. So I'm gonna give that one my pick of the week. So,
Sounds good.
all
And
right.
we're gonna just kind of look out into the horizon as we expect Lewis's review of some game next week.
Yeah, you just- You're such a fucking asshole. That's so
All right,
clever. I hate you.
let's move on to our next segment here.
All right.
Got a selection of good things on sale, stranger.
I just can't believe how good you are with these puns. I used to when the podcast first started in episode 1, I was the guy that did the puns, and now I haven't really been doing them, so I'm glad
That's
you're picking up
true.
the slack there. All
I've
right.
I've taken over.
This week, free games on Epic Game Store. We have Avon Colony. It's going to be for free between now and November 11th. And the alleged free game for next week. It doesn't really give me. It says Rogue Company. It's an Epic pack, but I'm assuming Rogue Company is a free to play game, and they're just giving you away some DLC or something like that. So I don't know. We'll look into that later. For now, the actual free game of the week, Avon Colony. It says, build a new home for humanity in Avon Colony. Discover Avon Prime, an alien planet of deserts, tundras, and wetlands, light years from Earth. Build your colonies into massive, sprawling cities whilst dealing with threats faced when settling on a new world. This basically feels like sci-fi civilization, or no, what's that? Well, no, what's that? I don't know. Sci-fi Age of Empires or something like that. I don't know.
Right,
It's hard to
right, right.
tell.
I did want to just say that there's some other interesting deals here in the Epic Store. Like, there's a thing where you can there's a trial for the game Ghost Recon Breakpoint between November 4th and 7th. So this weekend when the podcast comes out. And there's some kind of coupon as well that you can get if you subscribe to get Epic Store emails. So that those might be things that our audience wants to look into.
All right, cool, cool, cool. I'm gonna sort of skip around here and go to the Xbox Game Pass for November. GTA San Andreas Remaster, Forza Horizon 5 coming to Xbox Game Pass in November. Minecraft Java and Bedrock Editions 2. Cool, cool. 9 new games will be added to Microsoft Xbox Game Pass subscription service in the first half of November. Beginning November 2nd, Microsoft's new lineup will roll out, including titles like Minecraft Java and Bedrock editions, Forza Horizon 5, and the remastered Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And a full list of the games will a full list of new games that will begin launching on the subscription service was published on Xbox Wire on Monday. And so we talked about Football Manager 2022, which I believe we covered in new releases, is on there as far as day one. But I can see here, what stands out to me is It Takes Two, Cloud Console, Windows, so November 4th. And let's see, yeah, I think that's pretty much it as far as like what we already mentioned and what really excites me. But as far as what's leaving, those bastards. Leaving on November 15th is Final Fantasy VII HD, Star Renegades, Streets of Rogue, and I don't really care about these other ones.
River City Girls. I'm gonna give a shout out to. I played that with Leah a little bit. It's a beat 'em up
Oh,
from Way Forward, I think. That's leaving. So yeah,
yeah. So
unfortunately.
is it like a situation where like I think I remember reading a red headline about like this is gonna be like Xbox's best November ever on Game Pass or something like that. I don't remember, but yeah,
I think generally people have a lot of excitement for Xbox's end of the year situation. We're getting some good Game Pass games. We got Forza Horizon 5 and we're getting Halo Infinite. And when you compare that to the first party lineup from Sony or Nintendo, who don't really have anything substantial coming out in November or December, then it really makes Microsoft stand out in comparison.
hmm.
But we'll see. I bet they're expecting to drive a lot of new Game Pass subscriptions over these months.
Yeah.
We'll see if it actually happens.
Fair enough. Now going from one service like a Netflix style service to another Netflix style, PlayStation Now games for November: Mafia Definitive Edition, Celeste, Final Fantasy 9, Fuck, totally
You
reliable
can do it.
delivery service. I was trying to like say more than one word at once, so it's really weird. Anyways, crime sprees, perilous mountain climbs, fantastical battles, and questionable delivery skills await with PlayStation Now's November lineup. So let's see here. These things will start on Tuesday, November 2nd. So we got Mafia Definitive Edition, and I'm not even going to read these blurbs here, but totally reliable delivery service, Final Fantasy 9, Celeste. That's it. Oh, it's the entire the headline. It was it. Whatever. Anyways, that's cool. Celeste is always going to move the needle, every single time. Don't really too much care about Final Fantasy 9, but I know that people give that one a lot of love from the PS1 generation, and they say that Final Fantasy 9 might be better than Final Fantasy 7, which is, okay. I believe you. So yeah, anything you want to say about this?
I think PlayStation Now is a good service, and I say as somebody who doesn't have it, never used it, so that's probably not fair. But it seems on paper, it seems to be a good service. It is actually cheaper than Xbox Game Pass, and they got some pretty good games in there. And nowadays, you are able to download the games through PlayStation Now as well, as long as they're not PS3 games. But if they're PS4 games or PS5 games, you can download them. So I think there's some value in PlayStation Now, and that PlayStation fans, people that prefer to play on PlayStation over Xbox, people that don't have an Xbox, might want to actually check it out and give it a chance.
If all Sony has to do is just like put their AAA titles on PlayStation Now day one. If they do that, then you basically have Game Pass.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I agree.
yeah, I wonder if that'll
But
ever happen.
they're not going to do that.
Yeah, they want those game sales more. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, now the big ones here. So we only get to do this once a month, but Xbox and PlayStation put out their free games of the month. So let's go ahead and do the worst one first. Games with gold for Xbox. They have, let's see here, the 2012 Lego Batman to DC Superheroes for the 360 for the second half of November. I would say that was probably the most exciting thing out of all of these things, I would probably say. But, anyways, moving out all through November, Kingdom, Two Crowns, second half of November / the first half of December, Rocket Knight, first half of November for the 360. So, yeah, those are the four games. And you know what? I will say, I'm going to give a shout out to Moving Out, because the only reason why I even care about Moving Out is because I vaguely remember seeing it at a digital presentation, whether it be an E3 or something. But I think I want to say like a Nintendo indie event or whatever. But I vaguely remember Moving Out being like a fun little game.
It's kind of like an Overcooked,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, but where rather than cooking, you're trying to move things out of a place into another.
Like it's like if Overcooked and I Am Bread had a baby. I don't know. Next up is PlayStation Plus. The headliner is Knockout City. It literally came out this year, like earlier this year. So it's really it must not have gotten enough sales so they're just going to play us PlayStation Plus. And then we got Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning and First Class Trouble. First Class Trouble is also a dual PS5, PS4 digital title, as well as additional bonus PSVR titles: The Persistence, The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, Standard Edition, and Until You Fall, also launch on November 2nd. So, yeah, dope. I think that, what's kind of interesting is like I feel like they should have done a thing where like you have like one PS5 game, the two PS4 games, and then they should do a one PSVR game every month. So, whatever. Um, maybe we should do like a Knockout City. Try playing that or something. I don't know. Just throwing that out there. Oh wait, you don't have a PS5. Never mind. Forget that. Forget that. Sorry.
Oh, it's also available on PS4 though. It's
Oh yeah.
PS4 and PS5. You said that.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. Oh yeah, it's a dual digital release. I see that here.
Yes.
My bad. My bad.
So I guess we could.
So yeah, that's it for the Broke Gamers Guide. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pass the show back over to you.
I had actually, before you ended, I had actually added a new link, but I'm just going to cover this myself. I was taking a look at early Black Friday stuff, and it turns out that Best Buy already has their Black Friday deals up, meaning like not even like when they announced it beforehand, like these deals are available to use right now. And there's a few interesting things here. So you can get Watch Dogs Legion for $15, or Immortals Phoenix Rising for $20, Assassin's Creed Valhalla for $20, Godfall, the launch PS5 game, is $20 as well. And a few other things, accessories and stuff. So you might want to look at that. And there's also already some information coming out of future Black Friday deals that are going to be available closer to Black Friday. We're going to be covering them then. But it looks like I saw somewhere, and I messaged Lewis about this, that I think at Target, Nickelodeon All Star Brawl apparently will be $20 for Black Friday. So
Yeah,
uh,
I paid 50 or 40, 40. I paid $40 for the game,
oh,
so
okay. So at least it's not like a $60 release.
it was like $10 off for like buying it like day one or something like that. So
Right.
yeah,
Cool. So yeah, Lewis, you can sing us out here with our final sound effect. It is time to end. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Ready Press Play. Remember, you can reach the podcast at readyplaynetwork.com or simply at Ready Press Play on Twitter or TikTok. I'm on Twitter at the Dan Lima, and Lewis.
at Chakalaka88.
That's right. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a review, tell your friends about the show, and all that good stuff. See you next time.
Peace.